This is the GetRx Phoenix Tower. Dan, when I say Phoenix, can you put like a cool effect there? Thanks. This for the right person, and there are definitely reasons you may love or hate it, but it may very well be the best budget-ish cable tower for you because the dual tornado arms allow you to do an incredible amount of movements in a relatively small footprint, especially as you begin to leverage the ecosystem of attachments that GetRx has built up around this thing. I've got the plate-loaded version here, but there's also a selectorized variation and the slimmer profile Viper Tower. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons of these arms, make some comparisons between the different versions that GetRx sells, and make comparisons to different machines and cable towers like this because I've reviewed a ton of them, both with and without arms like this. If you decide you're interested in any of the options we talk about, I'll link them in the description, and those affiliate links are the best way to support the channel. So these arms adjust with 2 pop pins. There's 2 pins on each side, and this bottom pop pin allows you to move them 180 degrees forward and back, and you can lock them into 7 different positions. And then the side pin here allows them to tilt 90 degrees upward or downward, again in 7 different positions. But if I put them out super wide like this, my pull points are about 45 inches apart, and then I left 110 pounds on there, so I can't fly that. Would you look at this 110 pound fly? So with them 45 inches apart, I'm getting a good stretch and resistance in this stretch portion of the lift, good resistance throughout the entire range of motion, and the pull is fairly smooth too. That 45 inches is pretty close to what you'd find on Reps Aries, Rogues Indy, or Twin Stack, and other rack cable integrated systems. As a functional trainer, it's solid. It's got a 2-to-1 pulley ratio, so I've got plenty of cable travel there, almost hit my wall. Even when pulling with both arms, so I'm gonna have less cable travel here because the thing you have to realize is I'm working off a single stack, so my arms are technically linked, but with 10 pounds on there and the trolley weighing 10 pounds, okay, technically 9 pounds, but what kind of nerd would point that out? But I'm getting equal resistance in each arm, so 10 pounds in each arm. And if I let go here, I have 10 pounds of resistance here as well. So I've got a 10-pound starting weight and can load whatever weight increment I want, which is great for micro loading. Just realize the selectorized versions, while they have a 10-pound starting weight and 5-pound weight increments, their weight trolleys, that heavy stack's gonna be much taller than this plate-loaded trolley, so you're gonna have less cable travel on a system like that. That's just one of those trade-offs you're gonna have to weigh out. Selectorized stacks are obviously quicker to change weights. You're literally just moving a pin up and down that stack, whereas on this, I've got to load or unload plates on each side. Now, I can also bring these arms in to about 9 inches, which is great when I want to link the stacks. I'll show you that in a second. But the fact that these can tilt up and down, that's a feature I love because it gives me better range of motion on vertical pulls, as well as a little more versatility when you bring them down low versus arms that can't tilt. Of course, building big, beefy arms, each one of these arms has a 225-pound weight capacity, giving the trolley a 450-pound weight capacity, and they can articulate on multiple planes. It has some downsides. Namely, Winnie, can we borrow you for a second? So Winnie is working on a review right now. We're gonna pull her over here, making this the point where GetRx is probably freaking out knowing exactly what's coming because I was pretty critical of how these arms moved on the original tornado rack. So could you drop the arms all the way down to the ground, please? This shouldn't be too hard because she has gravity on her side, and then all the way to the top, like all the way to the top. Now, you don't get a break because the camera's rolling. You just got to do it. Making this a good time for a word from our sponsor. I'm just kidding. I don't have a sponsor. I'm just trying to burn some time here. So you can see it is obviously difficult, but she can manage with a little bit of effort. Thanks. You can go back to your stepper. Now, for a manly man like myself, it's not a big deal. Nor would it be a big deal for the guys who bullied me in the comments or the tornado rack review when I was critical of this. So yeah, it's heavy, but obviously I can manage, and they're absolutely fantastic if you want to do heavy hammer curls. So what has GetRx done and doing about this? Well, in the original tornado rack, it didn't have any rollers, so it was difficult to move even though the single arm is lighter than this. Here, I got to give props to GetRx because you can see they've not only added rollers to this, notice the 2 rollers on each side, so 4 total, but they've also added rollers to the single arm variations of their tornado arms, making them easier to move. And if you've already bought these, you can reach out to GetRx and they'll send you a set of rollers so you could upgrade theirs. Now, since we're zoomed in a little bit, full transparency mode, I built this alone as quick as I could one night, and I managed to drop the trolley from as high as possible with the upright onto the ground. So yours should roll a little bit better than mine. Now, fun fact, when I reached out to GetRx telling them I'm an idiot and I dropped these and I broke the rollers, they obviously sent me new rollers, but they said they tested these with hammers to see if they'd break, which seems like something I would do. And they decided to upgrade them to a better material that won't break. So again, props to them. Now that's not going to change the fact that this trolley is heavy. I weighed it. It's a little bit over 40 pounds and not everybody's going to be able to handle that weight. So GetRx is making a counterweight system add-on for this. Just keep in mind that add-on is going to cost you a little bit extra, but it's great to see them come up with a solution for people who are going to struggle with the weight of these trolleys. So we've got super versatile arms that don't take a ton of fiddling with or tinkering with to go between movements. And of course, I was going to curl on this thing, right? But that means your workouts are going to end up being a lot more efficient because you're not fiddling with stuff, right? I'm not pulling a lot of equipment off to the side. Now, he says that as he pulls more equipment from the side. So this is GetRx Optimus pad. It attaches with a knurled knob and a mag pin. Think of it kind of like Ref's Pegasus or Rogue's multi-use seat, which I could technically just put right on here because the Phoenix Tower is built on 3x3 11-gauge steel with 1-inch holes and 2-inch hole spacing. So like other premium racks, I can put other attachment ecosystems on here from Rogue, Rep, and other people. But the Optimus has a little more modularity. I can move the seat, for example, because maybe I want a stability pad-esque attachment, which I could also do that with other attachments like this. I've got an adjustable leg roller because this can be used as an actual lat seat, or I can put the back pad in here. And this is where the Optimus is a little different than other options on the market because I can. Check out that vertical. That deserves a subscribe. Look at the stability of this thing. That's 200 pounds landing on this. It's also the second time I've given GetRx a heart attack in this video. But first of all, you wouldn't jump on this thing. But imagine this was set a little bit lower. Then I could use it for flies and other movements. This is probably a good time to note that you only need these optional stabilizers if you're going to be jumping on your rack. No, really, you only need them if you're not going to be mounting it to the wall or the floor. On my Selectorize RX 3000 tower, I never mounted it and it was fine, although legally, I never said that. But what I like about this cable tower setup is you can see how GetRx has routed the cables here kind of far to the outside, so you've got a little space rather than down the middle or up tight, because it means that these cables never get in the way of my attachments. But also, since I can tilt and maneuver the arms, I'm going to set these two arms a little differently so you can see what I'm talking about here. If I went to do a row on this, regardless of how it's set up, I actually have enough space for a good stretch and full range of motion. With a lot of these towers, I can't do this because I bottom it out. Now that's not me saying everyone should just go out and buy the Optimus to pair with their Phoenix Tower. While I like it, it's not perfect. So even if I tighten down all the knobs, there's going to be play between components, which as a generalization, I'd say that's fairly true of all GetRx attachments. The build quality is not going to blow you away. Again, it's solid, but as you start adding attachments on, like the back pad, it starts rivaling Ref's Pegasus and Rogue's multi-use seat and price. And then even then, I can't hit all of the back angles because my upright's in the way, but it is a little more versatile than a lot of other options. But like I said, it's solid and can be paired with GetRx center attachment or military bench frame, which will allow you to get creative with how you use and position it. And I love that they sell this a la carte because then I'm not forced to buy the back or rollers if I don't see myself using them. Having dual pull points on a tower means I can do unilateral movements, use one arm at a time, but also since I can change the distance between these arms, it gives me a few advantages as well. For example, on Bell's Kraken or their cable tower, the pull points are so close together that the cables can rub on you, and sometimes the resistance profile of an exercise can suffer as well. With the Tornado arms, since they can be set wide or be brought in when you want to link them, that's not going to be an issue. Now, to link them, GetRx sells this adapter that you can buy, or you could just use a third carabiner, but with them linked, it's now a 1-to-1 cable ratio, meaning for every pound you load, you're lifting that weight, which is helpful when you want to go super heavy. So let's just load up a little bit of weight. And I can adjust my pull height by just raising the trolley or tilting the arms. And since I don't want to row on the floor, I'm gonna pull my bench up, we'll say about there, throw my attachment on, and as I brace against this bench, you'll see I can get a real good stretch and full range of motion. But it wouldn't be a home gym unless you bought enough attachments to do the same thing 49 different ways. So this is GetRx Lat Low Row Pad. It's adjustable to 9 different positions, and as the name suggests, it's just a low row brace or a leg holder for something like lat pull downs. So to attach it, you're just gonna throw it on your rack, and then it's a single mag pin. And as you'll see, let me just drop this down. As a low row brace, even with the arms all the way up or down, so as far back as possible, I'm not gonna be able to get a good stretch here or full range of motion, but you can use GetRx center attachment to push you back more, or even add their low row footplate to this if you want. Just keep in mind, as you daisy chain things together, you're gonna get more play between components, but as a low row, I do find it to be pretty solid. So let's demonstrate some vertical pulls here. So for this, I'm going to change the position of my leg roller, which you obviously do have to remove this for. But once it's in, this tilts pretty easily. We'll say about there. I bring my bench back in, and now as you can see, I've got a real good stretch. You can see there's more range of motion left there. Even with these daisy chained together, lowering my pull point, I've got plenty of space. I'm locked in, I can pull straight down. And with a lot of these towers where you're combining functionality, you end up having to sit on the floor or coming up with another workaround to make it work. But there are a lot of cable towers out there. So where does the Phoenix rank? I really like this if you're looking for a kind of combo functional trainer, standalone cable tower, because it offers a more well-rounded experience than a lot of other towers. While I love all-in-one racks, and there are a few of them that can do everything this can, but as you add more and more functionality onto those racks, they get cluttered. You end up having to move things out of the way to set up for your various lifts. Ideally, if you have the space, you separate your machines and your items out. That way, there's less trade-offs, your workouts become more efficient, you're not working around things. Now, at $1,500 shipped for the plate loaded and around $1,900 for the selectorized, I wouldn't exactly call these budget options, but maybe one of the best value options out there. The best budget cable tower is probably Bells of Steel's cable tower that's using 60mm or 2.3-inch tubing, because you can get it for around $500 to $600 shipped. Once you go selectorized or 3x3, while both are an upgrade, they get pricey. I think the Adonis and CTM1 are much better lat pull downs and low rows. They're very well made, they're pull very smooth, and their functional trainer trolleys also make them super versatile. But are you willing to double your budget for that build quality while losing a little bit of functionality? Because with these arms, you can do more. There's Force USA's Tandem Tower. Let me know if you want to see a review on that one, but it's gonna cost more, and I'm not exactly sure how you're gonna utilize attachments on those dual uprights. Although GetRx may have already solved that with their military bench frame. I think this one really comes down to what do you want to do with it. If you're looking for maximum versatility and a somewhat compact footprint, kind of ignoring this octopus of legs here, and yes, I know octo means 8, but that's kind of what it reminds me of. I think I was a little disappointed by the original Tornado rack, which GetRx has done a fantastic job of addressing my criticisms with. But this one, I think overall, I'm pretty happy with it at this price. Let me know what you think. Thank you so much to our Patreons for allowing us to keep making content. You are the reason this channel is still going, and thanks for watching.